لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
I don't agree with gay marriage, but I do agree with allowing gay people to live in peace.
Muslims agree with the same, believe in the same.
Really?
They do.
In some places they throw them off buildings.
That's not from Islam.
No.
So I want to know.
Be an Islamic country.
No, I want to know. Yeah, but there's people in this country who do evil things.
Well,
are you responsible for that?
Put to death.
Are you responsible? Before the Bible just says,
let live.
are you responsible for the people who are English doing bad things? Are you responsible for them? Because just because they're English. Just because they're English. So I agree there is people who do bad things in Muslim countries.
Yeah,
I do agree. I'm the first person against that.
There's no Muslim
but it
country.
doesn't mean that this is from Islam.
There's no
But
Muslim
it's sort of
country.
sanctioned by Islam
People
to kill
saying
gays.
that is a Muslim
Sorry?
country.
What about Pakistan?
Islam allows them to kill gays without guilt because they think they're going to go to hell.
No, it doesn't.
For killing gays
It
because they're
doesn't.
doing the right
It
thing.
doesn't. I'm telling you, it doesn't.
They'll get virgins.
Do you know what
They'll
matters?
get many virgins
No.
if they kill people. In
Now what
the
you're
name of
repeating
Allah.
is what you heard online, right?
that not true?
It's not true.
Do you think
And I'm
nobody's
telling you?
killed
I'm
themselves?
answering you now. I'm answering you. Would
Do
you
you
like an
really believe
answer?
no one's killed themselves?
Would you like an answer?
For that reason.
For what?
For the reason they're thinking they're going to get 37 virgins.
No. Do you know? I'll give you an example. ISIS is the
know
most popular kind of terrorist organization. Do you agree?
You get 37
Do you know what
mother-in-law too.
ISIS stands
You
for?
get 37 mother-in-law too.
Sorry?
If you get 37 virgins, you have to have 37
Do you want an answer?
mothers-in-law.
Do you want to answer?
It's a joke.
Yeah, I understand.
You don't understand
but,
jokes.
I do understand relevant jokes, not irrelevant
Only
jokes.
Jews
But-
and English people understand jokes.
Okay, that's all right. That's a racist statement, but I'll take it. No
That's the
problem.
truth.
Okay,
We've given
it's a
them our
racist
comedy.
statement. Sorry.
What comedy have you given us?
Do you want? Look, the problem is with jumping everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I want to have a discussion
You
with
can't keep
a
up.
rational. No, I want to have a rational discussion with you, not to jump around, right? Okay, now coming back to what gay and not gay people. The Quran says that killing an innocent people
Yeah.
is like killing all of humanity. The Quran says fight those who fight you,
Yeah.
right? And do not transgress. Allah does not love those who transgress. We don't believe in transgression.
you
Allah
won't
says,
say-
sorry?
You won't say that, and you won't stand
That's
up
in
for
the
gays
book.
in
That's what
Saudi
the book
Arabia.
says. Sorry?
If you're in Saudi Arabia, you won't defend the
What's
gay
happening
man.
to the gays in Saudi Arabia?
That's where they're throwing people off.
No,
roofs.
that's wrong. Give me one video, one evidence, one photographic evidence of that happening.
Maybe it's all made up.
That is what you just referred to is made up.
All right.
That doesn't
never
happen.
happened.
Do you know why?
They never killed a
Do
gay
you know
man.
why I'm telling you it doesn't
They
happen?
never dragged a gay man out of his house and beaten him. It's never happened.
That is not from Islam in any way, shape, or
That
form.
used to happen here a lot, yeah.
Sorry?
We used
Yeah,
to-
I know. Before 1960, you used to here, just near here, you used to hang them here.
we
Okay.
stopped.
Why is it wrong?
Why is it wrong?
Why
You shouldn't kill-
what they did was
you
wrong
shouldn't
and
kill.
is right today?
You shouldn't kill it.
Why?
Because you can't. It's not your right
If I'm
to take away someone's
if I'm
life.
coming to kill you,
It's not your right to take away.
if I'm
my
coming to kill you, should I be killed back? If I want to kill everyone here, should I be killed
Well,
to
I-
protect the lives of the other people?
I'll try and defend myself in self-defense. If I kill myself in self-defense,
No, I'm gonna kill you. Will you kill me if you protect your family? If I'm coming to kill your family?
Yeah.
So killing is not wrong in all circumstances.
Yeah,
Do you
but
agree?
we're talking about killing people for
Innocent people
because
is
they
wrong.
want to sleep with.
Killing innocent people is wrong. You agree?
Because of the people they want to sleep with, which is none of my business. Who you want to sleep with?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
you go.
So Islam agrees with you as well.
Oh please.
The problem is
not liberal. like
if
that.
if you're saying, look, if you think Islam says,
You have to obey, submit, like you said. You don't get to question.
I do submit, but I'm
You're
saying-
not allowed to question it.
who told you that?
That's the whole point.
When you read it, you will see that you were wrong.
The Jews question everything.
The Quran tells you.
You know, that's Jewish culture to pick apart everything.
The Jews, you don't know about the Jews. That's the issue. How many Jews? How many laws did the Jews follow?
You know, we had a Jewish prime minister, basically.
There was a Jewish person.
In
I would love to bring
1860s.
him to tell you.
Benjamin Disraeli.
Sorry.
His name is even Disraeli.
Just before we divert
Disraeli.
again. Before we
He was
divert
our
again.
prime minister.
Before we divert again, look. It's hard for me to get all these misconceptions you have in your mind about Islam.
All right.
But I can tell you one thing.
Hamas.
If I can tell you one thing, Hamas does not represent Islam. What I can tell you one thing. Look, do you know what represents Islam?
What represents Islam?
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
The book of Islam, the Quran, and what Prophet Muhammad said. Now what individuals do.
What about
The
the
problem
hadith?
is you see, and I said what Prophet Muhammad said, which is the hadith. Now, what people do is not a representation of the faith. Not just because someone happened to be a Muslim, he done a bad deed, Islam is responsible for it. Just not like because someone who's Christian, like the KK group, Christianity is responsible for it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that.
Do you know how many people are in the KKK?
No, I don't know. Do you know?
Very few.
No one knows how many really,
Tiny.
the number of people in the
Tiny.
KKK. You think they know the number? They would arrest him if they knew the number.
Minuscule.
Sorry?
It's the
I understand.
proportion of the population who are in the Ku Klux Klan.
What is the population of ISIS? What is the population of ISIS compared to Muslims?
No idea.
Okay. Do you know how many Muslims are in the world? 2 billion Muslims are in the world. Do you know the ISIS? Few thousand people. They're not even 0.0.0.1%, right? These people are nothing compared to Muslims. It's the same as you refer to as the KKK group. The point is that if someone does
how many Muslims, although they don't actively do these things, they agree, they'll allow the terrorists to
there are so many
they won't condemn the terrorists.
They would. Every Muslim here in this park that comes, speaks about Islam, condemns ISIS. Have you asked if any Muslim here who comes to speak?
When we had that terror,
have you asked any Muslim here who comes to speak? What do you think about the Muslim terrorists?
It's the first time I come here, but
okay, I'm telling you, we condemn them. Everyone here condemns them.
But that bombing in Manchester, that young man, he was from Syria, I believe. Who did the bomb, yeah?
That's his queen bowing down to my king, yeah? That's your queen bowing down to my king. So who's more powerful?
Yeah, good.
Good? That's not good. Your whole future and your past is built on life.
Just coming back to what we're saying.
No, I agree.
Just coming back to what we're saying, yeah? Muslims condemn terrorism. Why? Because our book tells us to do so. Our book tells us not to kill innocent people. Our book tells us not to force our religion onto other people. I was giving you references, right? You have heard certain things from individuals in the media, online or otherwise, right? That's fine. The only thing I'm asking you is this. Pick up the book that Muslims believe in, which they get the religion from. Sorry?
I don't have the time.
Okay. Go ask a Muslim if you've seen any Muslim in your life. You have Muslims living neighbors around you or someone.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
I've got a mosque at the end of my road.
If you ask someone from the mosque, do you agree with the terrorism happening? They will tell you no. I'll tell you right now, before you meet any of them. So what you think Muslims are trying to do is not the reality of Muslims are trying to do. That's a misconception you have about us.
But why should I be happy about this mosque at my road? Lots of men meeting, no women, no children.
Because it's a representation. It's a representation of freedom of faith.
But why
it's
is
a
there no women and
representation.
children?
Sorry?
Why is there no women and children allowed?
Who said that? There is women and children allowed in the mosque.
I've looked at it. I've seen it on Fridays. It's often busy.
When did you see it?
This mosque. It's when the big day is Friday. Yeah.
No, which Friday did you do? Recently?
Most Fridays.
Recently?
Yeah.
The laws of the COVID recently.
I don't see any women,
the laws.
children.
I'm answering you. The laws of the COVID recently have prohibited us from bringing children to the mosque because of COVID. So I'm answering you right now. So
I was talking before COVID.
Before there is. Do you know there is a narration? Prophet Muhammad was praying.
It's a nice mix of families.
Can I answer you?
Do you think it? Are you saying that most mosques is a mix of families?
Can I answer you? Can I answer you?
Yes or no?
Are mosques place of worship or family gatherings?
For men.
Are they place of worship or family gatherings?
I don't know. They seem to be a place for men to worship.
They are place of worship, not family gatherings. Have you been to the biggest mosque in the UK?
No, funny.
Islam mosque. Do you know there is a whole building called the Mariam Center for Women?
I don't know why it's there.
For women to pray?
In Oxford,
is the mosque for women?
My hometown in Oxford, there's a Centre of Islamic Studies, which is a beautiful building built out of sandstone in the Oxford style.
Okay.
You know,
and
all these it's built with Saudi money. Okay. Nobody cares.
No, but I'm not talking about
nobody
that.
Has any.
You were talking about women, right?
Nobody has any ethics.
In the mosque, women are allowed, children are allowed, and men are allowed. Prophet Muhammad. I'm answering you. Prophet Muhammad used to pray.
But you telling me when I stand outside a mosque and I ate in the restaurant opposite?
Why you don't go inside? You have your answer. You will see that there is women, there's children, and there is men.
Because I didn't.
If you go inside, you would.
I don't want to have a massive philosophical discussion that day.
Oh, you don't have to.
That's why I've come here. This is the place for this.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
This is the place for this.
Yeah, we can. So I'm answering you now. I'm answering you, and I'm telling you what you think. I'm telling you.
Everyone's reaching the paper they were tried all day to facilitate this, and nobody's abided by it. I think you can agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't agree with it.
If you don't have your conversation, you go outside, it's fine.
If we're only two people, if we're only two people, it's not against the law, is it? Oh, they left. It's fine. It's allowed. It's fine. He left. It's okay. Okay. Coming back to what I'm saying. You said this is the place of discussion, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm telling you here, you get your information, right? I'm telling you, your information is wrong. There is men, there is women, there is children in our mosque.
I've seen with my own eyes.
You haven't been inside.
So what?
There is a designated place for women to pray.
Coming in the back door.
Sorry?
You're saying
there is a designated place for women to pray and designated place for men to pray.
I just don't want to see that. Man.
Sorry?
I think
that's fine, but that's your opinion. Why should we adopt your opinion?
Because
why should we take your morality? No, but this is our worship. This is our religion.
Yes, we'll do it where you
So we do it as we believe it, not as you believe it.
I wouldn't go to your country and do what I.
No, people who pray in my
you should
church.
respect my right to practice.
Do you know there's churches in my country, and people pray like you pray here. We don't force you. We don't force you. We don't force you. I will tell you after we finish this. Okay, in my country there's churches. People go. It's a Muslim country. People go. They pray like they pray here. We don't force them to pray like we do. We don't say separate men from women. They go. They pray. So this is the freedom of expression that we believe in as Muslims. Do you believe in the same?
Yes.
Okay, so we as Muslims, these women.
Freedom of expression.
I completely disagree. If you read the history, what in 1880s, 90% of the African countries were under colonization. Is that freedom of speech?
No, we have
Going to other people's country, taking their wealth, destroying their country. Is that freedom of speech?
from the Magna Carta onwards. We've had a history of that.
The Crusades. Is that history of speech?
Yeah, because we
Going, taking other people's, killing them, taking their goods.
But we thought we were doing what God wanted us to.
You didn't exist at that time. How did you know what they thought?
Well, that's what I've read of the Crusades. You know, we were going as Christian
In which
soldiers.
book? In which book?
Christian soldiers.
Sorry.
You know.
Do you know what they were taking? They were taking the goods, killing the women, and killing the children.
Yeah.
That's not what we do as Muslims.
Well,
So if you want to
see,
compare,
we didn't want Islam spreading. You know, like you can see in the modern day, it's like America going into Vietnam.
why is Islam spreading?
We don't want communism.
Why
to
is
spread.
it spreading?
That's why we went. Into,
why is Islam spreading?
But-
Have you asked yourself that
But
question?
just think of it. I think it's a really good metaphor. Is America going into Vietnam, going into Korea to stop the spread of communism? Because we believe.
We are against communism
We
as well.
believe it's bad.
Yeah.
So we
But we don't believe that you should kill the children and women
well,
because
we-
communism is bad.
ordinary Americans were willing to lay their
You know-
lives down to stop communism spreading.
Do you agree communism is a governmental system?
Yes.
So me killing children and women is not going to fix the system.
It gives all the power to the state.
Yeah. So you should deal with the
We're
state.
about
You should
the
deal with.
individual having the power.
You agree you should deal with the state, not with the innocent individual citizen living that are forced. So that's what we believe as Muslims, right? The problem is the state, is not the individuals, right? Now, coming back to my point, look, simply, Islam preaches the message of peace. If you think that's wrong, if you have heard information about it that is otherwise, I'm urging you to go read. If you don't have time to read, then at least until you read, make your conclusion. But
why
don't
not
make.
go back to the source?
Why is the source? I'm telling you, the Quran is the source.
Moses.
Sorry?
Moses.
But who said Moses is the source? Abraham existed before Moses. Noah existed
Yes.
before Abraham. Adam existed before all.
Yeah.
But we don't have scripture from them.
But Moses.
So the source is God.
Moses
The
was
source,
kind of founded
the source
Israel.
is God. Do you understand that?
But Moses was like the watershed
Who
moment.
revealed to Moses?
God.
Okay, so the source is God.
Hebrew God.
The source is God.
Hebrew God.
Is God Hebrew? Is he born in a Hebrew ethnicity?
Well, he spoke to the Hebrew people.
He spoke to the Hebrew people. He spoke to the non-Hebrew
Properly.
people. To the non-Hebrew people as well. He spoke to the people of Noah.
They spoke to everyone else.
The people of Noah,
Jesus basically
people of
spread it.
Noah, there was no Hebrew people at the time of Noah.
Yeah.
God spoke to Noah and his people, right? God is the source. We're saying the one who is revealed to Prophet Muhammad is the one who is revealed to Moses,
Yeah.
to Jesus, to Abraham, to Noah. So if you want to go to the source, first ask yourself, is the writings about Moses accurate or not accurate? They are corrupted and changed. Do you know that?
Yeah. Gets twisted over years.
Exactly. So if they are corrupted and changed, we cannot trust what people say Moses said, right? What
Well, why
people
would you
say.
trust the
Because
Quran?
it's not corrupted. We have
perfect.
Sorry?
You think the Quran is perfect?
No, we have evidence it is. There is carbon dated. I don't know what's going on. There's carbon dated manuscripts of the Quran completely preserved from the time of the Prophet. Come, let's move a little bit this way at least, because it's too loud. So there is carbon dated manuscripts of the Quran from the time of Prophet Muhammad. So the reason is we have evidence for it. We're not making a claim that the Quran is preserved. So when I told you it's better to read the Quran than to read the Old Testament, because it's changed. If a book is changed,
How could it be better to read something newer?
I'm telling you, because that old is changed, it's corrupted. So you wouldn't know what
So
God.
you've got to go back to source. And
How can you go back to the source if you don't have it? If you don't have it,
if you learn Hebrew and read the original Hebrew text,
the original Hebrew.
not learn Hebrew?
Don't interrupt, please. The Hebrew text that you're referring to is the corrupted text. Okay, Genesis, the beginning of Genesis, Shammai.
you think the Jews
The beginning.
corrupted it from the start?
I'm answering you. The beginning of Genesis is Bereshit bara Elohim بريشيب براء إلهي مثل الشمايم verta haaretz. That's the Hebrew. That Hebrew of Genesis is corrupted. It's 1,200 years after Moses. That Hebrew you're referring to is separate from the source. It's not the source. So the source is not there. Do you know why Allah revealed the Quran? To tell you the truth about what is corrupted and what is not corrupted in the previous scriptures. So the source is God, I'm telling you. If you want to go to the source, you go to God.
Yeah, God.
Yeah. So we're saying God revealed the last revelation, which is the Quran, to show you what is wrong and right in the previous scriptures as well. So that is the reason I'm telling you should read.
I think that God, the Hebrew God, was there before, but they
There's no such thing as the Hebrew God.
Articulated it. No, I agree.
There is one God, right? There is one God.
But the God that the Hebrews are talking about was that one God who was always there from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And people who...
The God the Hindus speaking about is the same.
Yeah, people before there was organized religions knew that.
What do you mean by organized religion?
You know, growing up, you will be, your father tells you, teaches you the ways of your religion. But
no, I learned myself.
When people were like, just living in tribes, nomadic tribes. Some people had the sense that there was a God looking over them.
So would you say?
They were still saying,
you're following organized.
They didn't have the words to express it.
Your father is British, yeah?
Yes.
So are you saying you are following organized English religion because he taught you things when you were young?
Yes. But now I've read stuff and I realize that he was misguided.
So why do you think Muslims don't do the same? We read we found
you don't question enough.
I'm telling you, what religions am I telling you about? The Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament. If I'm not questioning, why would I read your scripture?
You can't say that the Jews don't question. They don't like.
I didn't say that.
You have old rabbis.
I didn't say that.
Sit around
you do
and
question.
Pick it apart.
You do question, but not every Jewish
people. Yeah, but
people.
that's Jewish culture. It's like deep in their culture.
No, there is conservative Jews as well.
Imams sitting around discussing, saying, "Oh, I don't agree with this bit in the Hadith," because they go, "Right, you're an."
Which imams are doing that?
No, they don't do it.
These are the ones you watch online. I'm telling you, look.
They don't sit around questioning the Hadith.
Do you know my advice to you?
Do they?
My advice.
Do they question the Hadith?
No.
No, they don't.
Do you know why?
There you go.
Do you know why they don't?
So I say you don't question enough.
Why not?
Because you don't think.
Can you tell me why they don't?
You don't think you should question God.
Look, in the Hadith, we have a process of correct Hadith, authentic and non-authentic. If we didn't question, how did we make two categories?
Sorry.
Why do we have authentic and non-authentic Hadith if we didn't question it? Because we questioned it, my friend.
Heard that phrase, authentic.
I'm telling you now. There's Sahih and Da'if, weak, fabricated, and we have authentic. The reason we have these categories is because we question. There is a process, there is a science behind what we accept of hadith or not. But that questioning happened years ago already. So we had the result, what is authentic and what is not authentic. So what is the point of me doing the same process today that happened before? Do you get the point? The people of today are not questioning because the process happened already.
Yeah.
The authentication happened.
To question it.
No, who said that?
Because it's
I'm telling you the Quran tells you to question.
Isn't there a phrase like, something along the lines of not questioning God, like if God wills it, Bismillah is it? Or
Bismillah means in the name of Allah.
In the name of Allah.
Okay, can I answer you? Do you know what Allah
Inshallah.
says? Do you know what Allah says in the Quran? Inshallah means God willing.
Yeah, God, so
God willing doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay,
God wills it, then
can I answer you?
You don't question God's will.
Can I answer you? Okay, look. First, we need to know it's God's wills or not, right? Yeah. If we know it's God's wills, why would we question it? It's about knowing whether it's God's will or not. Allah says in the Quran, in chapter 5, verse 104, right? If it's said to someone, come and follow Islam, they say it's sufficient. It's enough for me what I found my forefathers upon. You found your forefathers on the English culture, you say is enough for me. You know what Allah says? What if your forefathers did not know or were not guided? What does that mean?
But they were guided by Jews.
I'm saying the Quran tells you there, question. The Quran tells you there, question what your forefathers have brought to you. Don't just follow it. The Quran teaches you to question, to look for evidences.
That's just not true.
But you haven't read it.
Yeah, but I just know.
So how do you know it's not true? You made up your mind before reading it.
Because I just know.
Why did I tell you to go and pick up a book and read? Go to the mosque yourself, see what is going on there. Rather than listening to some hearsay around and believing it. Taking it wholesale.
I've never seen imams pick apart.
What? How many imams have you seen?
But it would be like a like a common thing. Oh yeah. Like I know that rabbis do that because you just know.
How many rabbis have you seen?
Not many, but you hear it over and over.
I don't think you have met even one.
You hear it from different.
You know how hard is it to find a rabbi?
No, I've got a lawyer, Jewish lawyer, and I've talked to him about and stuff.
Okay, so you have a Jewish lawyer. I'm saying a rabbi.
And I've read.
I'm saying a rabbi.
Who's probably the wisest Jew of all time.
Sorry?
I've read a lot of Disraeli's novels, and he wrote these novels specifically to teach us ignorance as Saxons about our own history, because we're all so ignorant.
So now you believe the Jewish people are you should leave.
He was an English Jew.
So he was an English Jew,
and he wrote these novels.
Can you tell me what does Jew mean?
Out of love, to teach us out of love. Yeah, because he wanted to help us.
So you believe that you should help the Jewish people?
Yes, because we owe a lot to them. Yeah.
Sorry?
We owe a lot to them.
Okay.
That's why the Nazis killed them, because they were jealous, because they, taken over their society.
Are you secretly Jewish?
Well, it's not.
You are secretly Jewish, aren't you?
Well, there is a genetic kind of race of Jewish, but also,
are you Jewish yourself?
There's lots of Arab Jews.
Are you Jewish yourself?
What Syrian Jews?
I'm asking you, are you Jewish yourself?
Apple Jews? No.
Are you Jewish?
Yes.
Okay. Now we finally reached the important point.
But only recently, from reading.
Okay.
From reading.
And now answering your question.
Why not go to the source? That's what the conclusion I come to.
Because you misunderstood it. You thought it's the source and it's not. The source was always God.
Read all the ancient Jewish stuff, then I'll go to the Christian, and then maybe if I got time, I'll read the.
That's fine. That's your choice. I don't mind. You can do that
in chronological
order.
You can
do that. You can do that.
Why not?
It's up to you. You can.
That's good, right?
I'm not against it. You can.
It's not wise to do it.
It's fine. I don't disagree. But do you know what I'm telling you in this conversation? Do you know what I want to get in?
I don't know.
Before you make a claim or you make some.
I know you won't. You would never change your mind. I can see that.
Change my mind about what?
About anything.
You're saying I can change my mind and you don't even have a topic in mind.
Well,
give me a topic that I won't change my mind of.
That Christianity and Islam are just watered down versions of Judaism.
If you give me sufficient evidence, I will change my mind.
Well,
right now. What evidence do you have for that claim?
That it all started in Israel.
Sorry? Islam started in Israel?
No, the Old Testament.
But you said Islam and Christianity.
The Old Testament was written in Israel.
How do you know that?
Well,
do you know where the Dead Sea Scrolls are found?
In the Dead Sea.
Yeah. Is that Israel?
Well,
the cave of Qumran is not Israel.
Yeah, no, it's changed. I mean,
okay. So the problem is
there were many cultures before Israel. Just
humbly and respectfully. If you support Judaism,
the Assyrians were way before the Jews.
If you support Judaism,
but they all bowed down to Judaism when it came along.
That's fine. If you support Judaism,
you agree? The Assyrians wanted to be Jewish.
Do you know Muslims protected the Jews for 1,000 years? So why you don't thank Muslims for that?
When people hear the word of God, they all go, "Yeah, that sounds good. I'm up for that."
Why you don't thank Muslims for protecting the Jews for 1,000 years?
Sorry?
Protecting the Jews from the Christians. Why you don't thank the Muslims for that? Muslims protected the Jewish people from Christians for 1,000 years. Why you don't thank Muslims for that? If you care about the Jewish people, you should thank the Muslims. Where? When did we kill Jewish people?
Well, even like this country is probably the best place for Jewish people to live. But if you look,
where did Muslims kill Jewish people?
If you look at France, there's a very big.
It's a horrible country. I don't want to even talk about it.
Yeah, but there's a huge anti-Semitic sentiment there.
Do you know Muslims?
So many
Do you know Muslims are against France?
What?
Do you know Muslims are against France as well?
Algerians.
Yeah. Muslims, not just Algerians, all Muslims.
Yeah, but what about Algerian Muslims?
Algerian Muslims were colonized by France. For over 100 years, right? So of course they're not going to be happy with them, are they?
So they want to destroy France now.
No,
because they're pissed. They're bitter.
No. If they wanted to destroy it, they would destroy it a long time ago. What are they waiting for?
Well, it's pretty much done, yeah.
Sorry?
And Germany.
Pretty much done. You believe France is destroyed?
The Nazis killed millions of Jews.
Yes.
Recently. And they expect.
You mean at the time of Hitler?
They expect to be forgiven.
You mean at the time of Hitler?
What?
You mean at the time of Hitler?
Yeah, but they're never going to get over that.
Do you know that Jewish people believe that Muslims are going to...
The Germans will never forgive themselves.
Do you know that Jewish people believe Muslims are going to heaven?
Some of them may.
No, they do believe that. Do you know why?
Not all of them.
Because Muslims...
They're all different. You can't say they're all the same.
Which ones don't? Which ones don't?
They're all kind... They've all got... Everyone has got a slightly different philosophy.
Do you know why they believe they're going to heaven?
Because you're allowed to have different ideas, but...
Do you know why they believe that?
Muslims have very similar.
Do you know why they believe that? Because Muslims are monotheistic. They believe in one God. No.
Freedom of thought.
No. Because the most important thing... What is the most important thing to a Jew? What is the most important commandment?
Freedom.
You're not Jewish then. You don't know the most important commandment?
No.
If I say to you, Shema Israel Adonai Elohim Adonai Echad, what does that mean?
No, I don't know what that means.
So you're not Jewish?
I believe...
You made a claim you're Jewish, but you don't know the most important commandment for Jewish people.
Hebrew, no, but I believe the bottom rule, Moses led the people out of Egypt. The bottom line is freedom.
So you are a sheep for the Jewish people?
A sheep?
Yeah. You're a person who wants to protect them and follow their commandments.
Yeah, well,
You're a Jewish sheep.
I think Moses was good to lead the
No, I'm
people out of
saying
slavery in Egypt.
you are a Jewish sheep. Muslims are not Jewish sheep.
You say I'm a sheep. No, I'm not a sheep because I think
Are you sure you think?
Yeah, I'm very critical.
Can you tell me what is the oldest manuscript?
If I hear a better idea, I'll change my mind, but I don't hear a better idea coming out of your mouth.
The problem is what you're following, you haven't investigated.
What do you mean I haven't investigated?
The Old Testament. What is the oldest manuscript?
Last few years, I've just been reading as much as I can on...
Why you're reading corrupted books that you agreed that is corrupted? Changed by humans?
That's your opinion. Corrupted books, you don't know which books I've read. You say they're...
No, I'm referring to the Old Testament that you're saying you're reading.
Silly.
The Old Testament I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's translated by a Catholic, by a Christian. So
no, I'm saying the Hebrew is changed.
Right, yeah.
The Hebrew is 1,200 years.
Different translations, and then maybe you'll get...
Well, what's the point? I'm saying
what's the point?
The source is corrupted. That you're reading translations of.
Yeah, well, that's the best we got.
Sorry?
So
no, I'm showing you some. I'm showing.
Nothing.
I told you what to read. The Quran, which is not corrupted. Read the Quran, which is not corrupted.
But why would I read that?
Because it's not corrupted.
How could it be not corrupted? Something that came so many years later.
Because it's from the source, from the time of the source.
Why wouldn't it have been? Why wouldn't it have been?
Is your problem just with the history, the time? Is that your only problem?
Well, I just respect things that seem to have been tried and tested.
So why are you not following Hinduism? It's before the Jewish people.
Because most Hindus, when they hear Judaism, they go, yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah?
No, that's before. Are you now making claims about Hindus? I don't think you know any Hindus, my friend.
I don't think there's many Jews who become Hindus.
Sorry? You cannot become. Do you think Hindus can become Jewish?
Well, yeah.
You need to go ask your lawyer if can Hindus become Jewish or not.
Well, no, yeah.
But look.
If they bow down to God, and say,
if they become sheep, if they become sheep,
you can say sheep.
Okay, look. I think
it's tiring being alone,
honestly,
being an individual saying there's no God, I don't need any God. You know, it gets boring.
Okay.
I want to just have some love.
So you believe in God?
Yeah, because I'm tired of being an atheist. I realise it's foolish to be an atheist.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Look, we agree on much more than you think we disagree upon.
Whatever.
It's not happy with that. Okay, look. I have nothing against you. Can you tell me your name because I didn't ask your name? What's your name? Frankel. Okay, look, I have nothing against you, Frankel, right? Muslims.
I think you're a kind of sophist and you've got bad intentions with your.
That's fine.
Debates.
You're entitled to your opinion. I don't mind.
You're not interested in growing your mind, in hearing a different opinion. You want to just make people look bad, look stupid. I believe that's your.
Do you think I made you look stupid?
No, you couldn't because you're not. I think you've got nothing.
So why did you say that?
You're not speaking out of love, so you're never.
How do you know I'm not speaking out of love?
Because I can tell in your tone and your body language, the little look in your eye.
Okay. So in what point am I talking to you? What is my intentions?
Well, you got this kind of like, you believe you're right and you got nothing.
Is there a chance that I could be? Is there a chance that I could be right?
You got nothing to learn.
I got nothing to learn.
You're certain that
do you have something valuable to teach?
Uncorruptible. For some reason, you put the Quran up on this pedestal, whereas the Old Testament is corrupt.
Because I looked at both. I studied the history behind both.
You've studied the unique information which gives you the truth, but anyone else, no one else.
I don't say it's unique. You can study it as well.
Anyone else can't quite get to the truth.
No, they all can.
As you can.
They all can.
No,
they all can. You can as well.
Yeah, but
you haven't done the research.
I've got a different truth to you.
No, you say
different.
You say you have, but you haven't read.
Yeah, but you don't know.
You told me you haven't read.
You're ignorant of my knowledge, and I'm ignorant of yours.
You told me you haven't read.
I've read lots of things that you
told me you haven't read the Quran. You haven't finished reading the Old Testament. You haven't read the.
No, you never finished reading the Old Testament.
Sorry?
You never finished.
Who told you that?
You must reread it.
Now you know what I think when you just said you don't know what I think.
I'd rather reread that than